Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
Why it's cold outside this podcast, there's no kind of atmosphere, and me and my 5 friends are all alone on the show, more or less. Welcome back to another BBC-backed and slapsticky fun episode of Cosmic Red Dwarf. This is your funny little AI program who's gone a bit loopy after what feels like a millennia of playing Starfinder First Edition. Patrick, and joining me this week as shipmates and your podcast players are my 5 friends and reluctant bunkmates. To my far left, a cat left to evolve into a sentient species. It's Jabert, jabbering away as Jamfram.
A talking cat.
Across from me, across the digital table, we've got a genetically engineered life form designed only for probing. Its miles make him believe as redacted.
Good evening.
To my right, your holographic smeghead with an H on his face. Why, it's Tyler talking as Bradier.
Hello there.
To my immediate left, your disgusting last remaining human who has curry stains on his underwear. We've got Drew dying to play Zilix Thel.
Hi, my name's Drew.
And across from him, a big old ram scoop on the nose of this podcast's ship's bow. It's none other than Rebecca rolling with Asher and Sky.
Hello.
I love me some Red Dwarf. I don't care that none of you have seen it.
I've seen it.
Now, Patrick, you tried to get me to watch it in college, and we made it through very few episodes before. I don't know whether I just didn't get it or what the deal was.
So good. They've like made a new season like every 4 years for the last 30. They have like
They're still making that?
Every so often,
yes.
Yeah, it's like the British sci-fi comedy Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even worse than that. Yeah, it's just like every once in a while they have some money and some ideas to make like another 6 episodes. They all come out of retirement or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've read the books. I've watched all the series.
I watched some in college. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah, well, that there was probably only the 80s stuff back then, and then they started to kind of rehash it. Anyway, we're talking about Red Dwarf from I think 88 is when it started. It's a very fun show.
Sounds about right.
It's a very fun sci-fi show. It's a lot of kind of Douglas Adams style space silliness.
Did he write for it? It seems like a show he would have written for.
Well, he was. Well, maybe not the same time, but there was a Hitchhiker's Guide TV show that was very much in the same vein.
Yeah.
But no, it's Naylor and Grant were the 2 showrunners and writers, I think, for the show. Guys, let's get back into it because we got a lot to talk about at the start of the episode before we even get into things, including yeah, we'll do a quick last time on. Why not? Who says we can't do a bunch of stuff?
Me, who doesn't remember 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we took a little break. Last time on Cosmic Crit, you guys followed Redacted into the basement of the buried mission. First Zilix, then Asher, followed by Jamfram and Pradier, came down to fight the 5 observation class robots. After Jamfram got critically hit by one of them, Redacted hacked the other 3 into standby mode for a round, dealing with all but one of these robots through violence. The last fell to a final hacking attempt, and you all discovered this was a mausoleum of sorts for the Kasathan monks that traveled here hundreds of years ago. You downloaded the records of the monk bomb and headed back to the surface world, ready for your next adventure. Drew, you've got your hand raised like a nerd. What do you got? You got one.
It was Monk Balfo C. Jom, not Jalfo C. Bomb.
Oh, someone wrote down a name. Whoa, good for you.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I have one.
Oh, what's that?
It was Redacted, then Zilix, then Jamfram, then Asher and Sky. And then
I was going to say the same thing.
Yes, I have the correction in my notes as J then S. As S Sky. What was this is supposed to be Ash? Yes, I'm pretty sure you've got that correct. The order was fairly important for kind of how the fight progressed.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't say Prettier came down at all, really.
You showed up. You showed up eventually.
Hey, listen, sometimes you just want to break for an episode. And, I had Praetor do other interesting things somewhere else. If we ever need filler, it will have like Praetor's Adventures, which is what happened on the other side.
Oh, cool. Bet. We're all going to leave now, and now it's time for Praetor's Adventures.
Didn't write anything.
5 rounds of combat. So exciting. Well, Praetor just waited for an elevator. It sounds like an excellent episode. Do you guys have one more correction to the last time on, and you get a reroll?
I have one more, but I can't do another one, can I?
No, you can't, teacher's pet. Sorry.
Wait, wasn't it only 2 that I got into standby mode in the first time?
Yeah, that's actually correct.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Good
Are you
job,
serious?
Miles. Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Booyah!
Yeah, hack 2 of the robots. There were only 5 of the robots in total, or 4 of the robots in total. And I believe Zilix got that sweet crit.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Way to go. Here we are. Yeah, so this week's episode finds you all triumphantly emerging from the cavern system a little more than a week after you entered it. Maybe, though, exiting with more questions than even when you entered. You found that, buried ruins of this old mission, the training grounds for which Weirdian and Kasathan Solarian monks buried in the earth, maybe by some kind of tectonic upheaval that threw it down there. You guys are fairly hurt, not dead. Jamfram, your throat is on the mend. Redacted, maybe sporting some scars from the robot's attacks. And Praetor's skin kind of reacting coolly to the planet's cold sunlight as you hit the surface. Maybe not the most lucrative trip in your exploration of your charter over the last year, but you've got
some might call it a waste of time.
Well, some might, but you've got a truck bed full of Solarian crystals, some samples of mystic tea that can pay out a lot of money, and some more knowledge of what was going on here. But it was more a success in that you guys all leveled up to level 4 in this part of the adventure very quickly. It took a lot more time, I think, between levels 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. So
it did absolutely feel like this one took less time.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about it real quick. Just one thing, your character's got a level 4. I don't think 4 is like a huge level, but I'm sure you guys still have some fun stuff. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Asher and Sky got Vanguard discipline, and I went with evasion because I figured that would be useful. And you
don't like getting blown up by bombs. You like jumping out of the way.
I mean, we're very, very good at acrobatics, so I feel like it makes sense that we would have evasion.
So good. Yeah. You're lithe. You're fleet of foot.
Yep.
Miles, did you want to go?
Yeah. So, one thing I'm doing is in love with trashy vehicles, as Redacted is. Redacted has decided to, in-game, purchase a boat.
A boat?
Well, not a boat, the Skyboat.
Oh, we're talking about upgrading your experimental vehicle, which...
Yeah, so Redacted has been working on the lower half of the Vista Cruiser, saws off anything that would actually cover a person.
The doors,
everything's in sacrifice in the name of sick ride. But what I'm excited about is one of the new mechanic tricks that I picked up. This one is called Vehicle Whisperer. You can use your extensive mechanical expertise to improve the performance of any vehicle. You can spend 1 resolve point to affect a vehicle you can touch. The vehicle gains a +1 enhancement bonus to EAC and KAC. It deals an additional 1d4 damage with collision attacks, and its movement speed increases by 5 feet. If you're piloting this vehicle, the piloting modifier increases by 2. These effects last for the number of hours equal to your intelligence modifier before they revert back to their original values, whether or not you remain in the vehicle. And yes,
hours?
Patrick, tell me, what is my key ability?
Probin?
That would be intelligence.
Probin lore? Oh, yes. Your ability is int. So I'm sorry, it's hours per your int bonus. So like 4 hours per RP.
3, I think, is my modifier.
Okay, I thought
so. But still, 3 hours is a good chunk of time, and it's not capped by hours per day, it's capped by resolve points.
Yeah, and in this adventure, resolve points, you should be throwing them away when you can. That's pretty good. So the bonus to speed is all right, but the real kicker there is a +2 to the DC. Is that what you just said?
So yeah, I get a +2 to my piloting modifier. I get +1 to my EAC and KAC, as well as a +1d4 damage with collision attacks, which is what Redacted does.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
And I already have a vehicle which has an additional 1d4. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to take it. It's obviously being in the air is helpful, but it's a 5d4 this time around for the Skyboat.
What is it to activate this ability? Is it
1 resolve point?
Well, that's it. That's pretty good.
That's it.
Yeah, if you know you're going to be using your vehicle, I think that's a pretty worthwhile RP to send out there. Yeah, I mean, that basically upgrades you to what would be like a tougher vehicle, I think.
Yeah.
The next kind of most expensive tier of like 2,000 to 3,000 credit vehicles do 64 damage.
And I think this is one of the cool things that Starfinder Enhanced has done is these additional abilities and improvements to every class has, I think, given a series of perks that I think make each class a little bit more fun to play. Like, it certainly makes the vehicle stuff even more enticing because I can be like, oh, I'm gonna spend a resolve point and kind of make my vehicle a level higher than it should be.
Yeah, little easier to maybe jump out of the way of that collision, but 64 could still be a lot of damage. Lots of damage. Okay, well, that's Miles. What about Drew, Jabert, Tyler? Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Drew.
So Zilix has been experimenting with his nanites, and he's been kind of shaken up by what happened with Pradier, and kind of, I don't know whether there's a bit of guilt in his case of not running in and saving him sooner before he turned into whatever Pradier is now. But it's kind of messed him up a little bit, and he's discovered something that he's calling the nanitic escape. And honestly, I thought, in this campaign, amongst this team, what would be super cool is if we had a car. It's never been done on the show before.
Oh, boy.
Nanitic Escape is a new thing from Starfinder Enhanced as well, where Zilix can use his nanites to form a vehicle. It can only go up to the large size, so it will never be as nice as some of the vehicles that Redacted can get. But one of the cool things about it is when I form it, any adjacent allies can automatically enter it without having to do a move action or provoke attacks of opportunity.
So it's better than Miles's space wagon in every way, basically, is what you're saying.
So if we're in trouble and people are next to me, vroom, vroom, we're out of here. And that's sort of because he thought, oh, what if I could have done that and run in and saved Pradier and pulled him into the car and then dashed out, and he would not have died in the same way that he did. And yeah, that's it. It's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, there was still, it still could have been like a large vehicle, in a medium-sized door problem that you might have had to deal with.
Well, I could have at least gotten him to the
situation.
door. Could have gotten him to the door.
Yeah, the 15 feet to the door. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, I guess you could make a medium-sized vehicle and like a motorcycle and kind of chain them up and drag them out. Well, the pressure's on for Jamfram, Asher, and Pradier to get your own vehicles now. who's gonna be riding the inner cycle, and who's gonna be? I think we were joking in the chat. Someone has to have a submarine, be like the water type. This is turning into like an 80s action cartoon show where you're like the vehicle squad. I got to imagine there's some mystical spells, Tyler, that would allow you to make a vehicle. That's probably Technomancer.
Yep. There's I think it's like a 4th level spell that's called Become the Ride, where you just transform or morph into a specified
like GoBots?
We could be Turbo Teen?
We could be Turbo Team.
Oh man. Tyler, what do you get at level 4? Oh, you got level 2 spells.
Level 2 spells, baby.
Look at you. Haven't you done well?
It's quite nice. Level 2, once you gain level 2 spells, there's it's a breath of relaxation, knowing that if I blast away a few first level spells, I'm all of a sudden not useless for the rest of the day, should we encounter some bad things. So in a 24-hour period, I went from being useless for about 18 of those hours to now I'm only useless for probably about 12 of those hours. So that's good. A significant upgrade for me. Also, due to my connection, the big blasty mind attack gets automatically upgraded. So that's very nice. Of course, I chose to take at level 2 the Healy good guy spell. So we'll be doing a little bit better that way.
Yeah, Healy good guy. That makes sense.
Yes. And then my other level 2 spell that I took is called Whippy Me No Likey, which I really like because it forces a negative on monsters' will saves. So it's going to combo well with other mind affecting effects. This assumes, and once again, of course, here's one thing. I was like, I should really take some damaging spells because all I have are mind affecting spells. Almost every damaging spell requires either like an EAC attack roll of some kind, either like a touch attack roll.
Yeah.
There are very few mystic spells that are just like fireball, So
well, you're a frontline fighter now.
Yeah. So with my strength of 10, dex of 10, I looked at those. I was like, wow, if I tried to do this, I would have at a creature my level, its chance to actually go off was like 40% or something. I mean, really low, not worth the spell slot. So we're just going to keep making the same mistakes we've made since level 1, which is just do mind affecting effects.
Okay. Well, I'll tag you back in to the adventure when you fight something that has a brain.
Thank you very much. I'll be here for it.
That one enemy.
With my whippy no spell, you will be devastated.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's the actual name of that?
Ego Whip.
Ego Whip. Okay. Whippy me no likey is I think what you said.
Whippy me no likey. Yeah.
Jipper, what about Jamp, bro?
Let's see. So it's level 4. So I'm getting a new Star Knight archetype feat. So, I mean, it's not a feat. It's just the thing you get. But,
replacing a soldier
replacing
feat?
a combat feat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of a shame. I found a feat that I really kind of wanted. I was like, oh, that'd be perfect. But yeah, here we go. But yeah, this one's called Challenge. I think we've seen it before, but
right. A classic.
Yeah. I mean,
you and me, we're doing this.
Yeah.
You're calling out an enemy, right?
Yeah, you make a move, make a single attack, and then you can attempt to demoralize with Intimidate, and then some bonuses to it where it's like if you succeed, then the target's also off target if they attack anybody but you. So they like I don't know. If you happen to make the thing, then they take a penalty to attack somebody else. So it doesn't force them to, but it just incentivizes them to attack.
Yes. But it's like a debuff if they don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's everybody. And now the episode officially starts as we watch you're still returning the old space wagon to Viridian Colony. And we see Ezra and Shire waiting for you at the city gates and says, yeah, hey guys, welcome back. Did you miss us? You find anything interesting down there in the depths?
No.
Did you have a good trip?
No.
It's so fun.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, at least you have some R&R, some time off in the next couple of days. We'll debrief next week if nothing's pressing. Everything went surprisingly well here at the colony. It was, I mean, it's probably the best time to leave Kells and I holding down the fort. Colonists have been all good. I mean, heck, even the Hardhoof seem to have really, patched things up. No fights, no nothing. So, I mean, if your cave spelunking stocks ever fall, you could always start a marriage counseling business.
How nice for you.
Right. All right. Well, take her easy. We'll catch you up on the flop.
Redetta doesn't even let them finish. He just Redetta just walks right past.
You guys do have some downtime in the rest of this month. Is there something you guys want to do in your downtime? We're about a month away from, I think, about a month from the anniversary of you guys touching down here on.
Oh, it's been a year since this nightmare started.
Well, it's been less than a year in real life, but about a year in.
Right. No.
Starfinder
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
So I know that like immediately Redacted would start working on the new Skyboat, the new ride.
Upgrades. Yeah, I don't think that takes that long. Actually.
I know it doesn't take that long, but I know that the first thing that Redacted would do would just start working on converting the Vista Cruise that we never named it, right?
No, I think Space Wagon or Space Vista Cruisers.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But do you have a name for the Skyboat?
Not yet. I have been thinking about it, but I didn't really decide on like definitely on the Skyboat until like an hour before recording. So TBD.
For those of you know, we are buying some extra seats, so it should be able to fit everybody. But unlike the Space Vista Cruiser, there's no cover. These are just like bucket seats hanging out. It's like attraction.
Don't worry about extra seats. I got extra seats, baby. We're good.
But so the Skyboat can also fly above things, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, actually, Drew, you can make any large or smaller vehicle of your level?
I have to choose one, and I prioritized. I can change it every level, so I can do something more, but it can only get up to the large size, which based on what I was looking at my level.
What are you picking?
I'm getting an urban cruiser, which can fit 3.
Yeah, right. That's a big old V. the urban cruiser. Yeah, that's
yesterday's news.
We can. I mean, good thing now. If there are NPCs,
as Redacted throws out the scraps, like Zilch just like picks them up. So like, I've got an idea.
So it will make exploration from the sky, maybe a little faster. Each of these hexes is about 30 to 40 miles across, depending on which kind of direction you're going. And the Skyboat, let's call it Space Skyboat. The Skyboat has a 22 mile per hour speed, so you can cross over one of these in like a couple hours and basically make it across the entirety of the charter in a day. You
go from fly the Redacted skies,
one corner to another. Oh, right. Anything else you guys? Anything you have planned for your characters?
I would like to delve into research about the Kasathan mission that we found in pursuit of choreographing an homage to their study and their memory.
The materials that you brought back from Mr. Balfasi Jom, do you want to share those with the Pradier Lindian Library? Would that be like a good exhibit? Or
sure, yeah, that would be lovely. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I can collaborate with a more visually oriented artist in town.
I think you should make a interpretive dance of your time down there.
Yeah, that's what I want to
do. Have like 5 people form the giant jelly monster, like bite jam from a child dressed like a small otter person. Oh, right. So it's not.
It's been a year on this planet.
Yeah, almost. It's been like
celebrated anybody's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been. Some of you might have had birthdays even on the ships coming over here, but has anyone? Well, I don't know if everyone knows their birthday. So it's a little exclusionary.
Haven't said them. So today is Zilix's birthday.
Oh, good for you. What's today's date, Drew? Drew, what is the date of your birthday?
Of the 12th moon of the 9th month.
Well, you were very close except for the month part there, actually. So I'll give it to you. What does Zilix do for his birthday? Birthday boy.
I don't know. I wasn't ready to improv this. So
you brought it up.
I know.
Somebody Drew's like, someone else was supposed to take the reins. Why was it left out to dry?
I thought Asher and Sky would be like, we need to throw a community birthday party, and then the ribbon would twirl. And
Community birthday party. Well, do you guys want to do something for like Founders Day once it does come up?
Why not?
I feel like you probably should.
Party. I don't know if it's like necessarily expected, but I mean, you guys have lost some colonists in this last year, and I think making it a full year is enough of an achievement to celebrate for some of these people that have been here, since day zero. So yeah, if you guys want to start budgeting that out in your monthly colony trackers, we'll think about that.
We'll invite the Lynxicoots.
No.
No, it's black tie only. They wouldn't be able to attend.
Gosh.
Their knife hands cut right through all clothing. Right. It's towards the end of this month as you guys are coming out of your house, maybe to go on another adventure here or start the administrative duties that you have to do before the end of the month, that you hear a rustling in the bush right outside your house. Just shaking.
Rustle.
Maybe
I
you hear
cast fireball.
maybe you hear like a curse under someone's breath.
Brock.
Oh boy. Oh no. All right, whoever that is, just come out.
It be. Don't say anything. I can't come out. You gotta hide me. Tell her I'm out in the field. I won't be back for days.
Do I recognize the voice?
Yeah, that is.
Is it Tukar?
That is no. Tukar.
Okay.
Tukar sounds like this.
Yeah, Tyler, we all knew that.
Come on. That is none other than one Haltharia Grommin, former chief botanist of Viridian Colony, former aide to the election campaign of Kel's Deirdre. And indeed, she is hiding in a bush right outside your guys' house.
And she said, tell her I'll be gone for days.
You gotta hide me. Shh.
Okay. I mean, I most certainly can hide you, but I think you might.
I have the invisibility spell.
But I might need a slight explanation before agreeing to such subterfuge.
There's a corporate headhunter here in the colony looking to drag me back to the pact. You guys gotta help me.
Of course. And who's the headhunter?
It's a Sheeran woman. I just heard the description and heard someone was asking around for me. I put two and two together. Listen, the five of you, I know we've had our disagreements in the past, and I know I might have been a bit too enthusiastic in trying to get you kicked out of your position, get kills in. But
Keep going.
This is a matter of life and death.
This woman will take you back to the pack and kill you?
She'll take away everything that matters to me. I started my career on Akaton years ago, and I eventually kind of fell on some hard times, made some bad investments. So I took a contract with Vitaratech Industries, and what I didn't know is I was basically signing my entire life over to them. 80-hour work weeks. I was kept in corporate lodging, monitored constantly. It was like the most extreme prison, more so than a career. I tried to quit. I tried to leave, and they said that they owned me and everything that I worked on. I managed to escape, fled the planet with the help of some mercenaries. They smuggled me out on a shipping container. But I mean, if it were not for that, I'd still be there today developing bioweapons for them. Yeah, I tried to go through legal channels. I tried to void my employment, but they had teams of lawyers, and they were able to blacklist me in the pact until I made reparations for my breach of contract. They said that I stole corporate data, and they wanted all of my own personal research into genetic DNA hooks for bioengineering crops. It's something that I've worked on in private since I left school, since before I started working there. And, almost all the research and field observations I did after I made my escape, they don't have any legal claim to my personal work. This is tech that I used here. I used here to reinforce the seeds and the plants that all the colony's food supplies are based on.
But they put out this bounty on me, so I fled the pact, and I was hoping Project Horizons would be outside of their reach, give me a second chance to start over and, do some good research out here. But I mean, as soon as I could, I bungled it all up with you. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, you have to understand, when I saw you signing over the colony's rights to Zanilia, this giant corporation, it broke something in me. I just saw this place becoming another arm of a giant corpo and another cog in the machine, and I just kind of went a little crazy. Oh, Haltharia, messing things up once again.
If I may pull Pradier aside, because I wouldn't say something that he might disagree with in public.
No.
But I'll pull him aside and I'll say, Mr. Pradier, this is perhaps you might consider this a personal favor, but I say we allow this person to escape her debts. I am well acquainted with having a debt follow you long distance, and it's no way to live. And I've sworn off my debt, and whatever consequences come from that will come from it. But we should protect her from this headhunter.
Well,
And then I give a polite small nod, and I sort of step back to the group.
well,
Unless you want to say something to me, if you want to. You don't have to.
well, Pradier will just readdressing everybody. Well, taking into account Jamfram's feelings, we will help you, but I must add at least one condition to our assistance here.
Well, what's that?
You must promise that you will go out on a date with me after we have gotten rid of the Shirin woman.
Yeah. That's, I mean, maybe before, I don't know how to say this. I'm very attracted to other things besides you. I don't know. That didn't come out right. Oh, we could go on a date. That sounds great. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't think I'm asking you to marry me. I think I am simply asking and requesting a single date.
If it means I'm not dragged away to corporate servitude for the rest of my life, yeah, no, I'll date every one of you. I will go out on a date with Redacted tonight if that is what is required. Yay! Hook her up, Redacted. No, I want to know all about this skyboat that you're making. That sounds fascinating. Yeah, the Shirin headhunter after me, I mean, I don't know what they're planning to do. Kidnap me or worse? If you guys will hide me and maybe you can deal with this bounty hunter and send them away, the terror attack might not stop until they get their grubby hands on my gene hook, my crop gene hooks. I don't know what they could do. They might try and sue Viridian Colony or seize our crops for their own. Simply because I modified them. But yeah, I'll hide and you see if you can find this bounty hunter. All right.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Yeah. What do you guys have to say about that? Leave. Do you want to leave her in the bush, or do you want to hide her in?
Could you provide us any idea of who we might be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, they describe, a fairly professional-looking Shirin woman. They did not get a name. But do you guys want to go around asking?
Any bounty hunters here? Any of them?
Come on out. And you ring on the dinner bell.
Specifically, Shirin corporate bounty hunters.
Bounties, get your bounties here. Yeah, like 20 other alien bounty hunters come out. It's like that scene in Empire. No disintegrations, you all. All right, get out of here, you scamps. Yeah, no, asking about. You hear that a new Shirin had come in maybe like a day or so ago via shuttle, and from another colony, not from an off-planet shuttle, and seemed to be asking around. Someone saw them last talking to Tayeta, your other biologist.
Well, that would track. Well, shall we go talk to Tayeta?
Let's go.
Right. So as you get there, yeah, you see Elenez Zorian maybe across the street, kind of keeping a low profile, and he whistles you over and says, "Corporate Shirin came in from Plostov earlier in the week. She's in there now with Tayeta. Nice suit, and she seems to be armed. and dangerous.
How many arms do you think?
Do we count the small little ones? I don't know if they don't use those ones, so just the two? Oh, are you talking weapons?
The sword, yes.
Probably just the one that I could see under their coat.
Okay, well, I do not think it will come to weaponry needed, but good to know that we might be dealing with that.
He opens up a small briefcase with like all these weapon parts and things and starts assembling like a sniper rifle. Is like, all right, well, I'm going to be out here just in case. As you enter Tayeta's laboratory, you indeed see two Shirins, and including this unknown Shirin that is very much like Haltharia described. They're standing close to one another, a lot closer than you need to be for telepathic communication. But yeah, body language, it seems like they are fairly intimately close next to one another. And I've got art for Skellekta. Here we go.
What a power suit.
That suit looks so uncomfortable. Like, look at the knees and how it's
I love when they just throw human clothing on weird aliens. It's so good.
It's like they're wearing a sweater. Like, it's so wild.
Yeah. They're hiding their little arms.
It's what's Miami Vice, but with the bug person.
They seem to be like deep in conversation. Like they barely register when you come in, and then Taya says, "Oh, hello, everyone," psychically in your mind. "Oh, well, welcome. How are you?"
We are well. We came by because we heard of some new Shirin visitors. Wanted to extend a Viridian welcome.
Tayeta seems to laugh at something, and you realize it's, probably some psychic Shirin joke that you wouldn't understand. But they seem very distracted by this new visitor who barely seems to acknowledge you. They're being worked on, it looks like. Yeah, but like I said, why don't you make a sense motive check? That's something Praetor's very good at.
When you said a Viridian welcome, it sounded so menacing. Like, I know you didn't mean to, but just like to give them a Viridian welcome.
Yeah, it seems a little flirtatious, a little closer than they might have needed to be here. Maybe you interrupted some kind of Shirin courting between the two. But yeah, it seems like the Shirin has been flattering Hayata, who's very giggly right now.
Okay, I'll just keep going then.
Did you guys need something? Hayata says.
Yes, although I'm sure you were having a riveting discussion, of course, regarding the nature of our wonderful botany research.
Well, I'm just on a break catching up with another Shirin here. Was this work related? Did you need something from me?
I'm afraid it is rather work related. Has to do with colony development and all that. So, was hoping to sit down and have a talk.
Does someone want to try to distract Hayata? Break up this combo?
Sure.
Why don't you make me either life science or physical science check to make up a very important business that can only be handled right now.
Okay.
Nice.
Miles, you god tier individual.
Natural 20. Do you want to use the episode reroll on that one? see if you can do it twice in a row.
No.
Yeah, you can make up anything that you want, but Redacted goes straight into Tayeta with like 50 questions, and their psychic link is kind of broken, and this figure kind of like acknowledges you maybe for the first time, as she doesn't seem to be interested in what Redacted is asking. She says, psychically in your mind, "Hi there, it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintances, everyone. I've only been in your fair colony a short while, but why, I feel like home here. I was just getting to know Tayeta, and well, I can see a very bright future for her in the field of applied research or development for whole hosts of clients of mine." It's a Shirin joke hosts. My name is Zazika. It is, as I said, very nice to meet you all. Tayeta told me that you form a sort of council of sorts for Viridian Colony. Is that correct?
Names do get around.
Yeah, there's a basic understanding of our duties here.
And you must be Praydeer, the prime executive.
I am he.
Oh, well, it's very, very nice to meet you. I've visited a couple of colonies here on this planet since I landed a month ago. And I seem to have finally found the right one. You have someone here by the name of Haltharia Grommin, is that correct?
Sounds familiar. You must realize I work with a few hundred folks here.
She came with you on the initial trip over a year ago, and from what Tayet was telling me, you've had some run-ins with this character. I can understand. I deal with all sorts in my line of work.
Bet you do.
Oh, I didn't say what I did for a living. Excuse me. I am. How do I put this? I'm a getter-doner, a task completer, if you will. I'm currently in the employ as a representative of Vitari Tech Industries. And
Did you say Atari?
Vitari.
Oh, Vitari.
Vitari Tech Industries and many of its subsidiaries throughout the galaxy. I have my Absalom's documents sealed by Abadar Corps, ensuring my business and travel in all the packed worlds and outlying territories, including this one. My clients in the pact pay me very well for what I do best, and what I do best in my line of work is troubleshooting. If something breaks, I'm there to fix it. If something goes missing, I find it. And if someone breaks a contract, well, I'm sent in to, make my firm whole in the eyes of the law. And you all seem to be the law of these parts. Well, your former lead botanist, Haltharia Grommin, has taken some contractually obligated corporate data away from Vitari Tech and illegally use it here in your colony. I'm sad to say I've been told by Tayeta here. So I apologize that she has made you kind of after the fact accomplices in her crimes, but I do have legally binding orders to gather up all of her computers, her research, things like that, as well as any samples of biological matter that she has applied her research to here, and secure the patented genetic markers for my company that they legally own. Perhaps you all can help me with that. Do you have a constabulary? Do you have any kind of security forces here that can help me find this Grommin, Haltharia Grommin?
No, the few that we have, they are busy. We recently had some security issues ourselves, and so the safety of our citizens being the primary concern, I don't really have numbers to lend you in hunting down Miss Grommin. As for the unfortunate news of her theft of intellectual property and thus its use on our crops, I believe you said that was the word of Tayeta?
Yes, she was very helpful to show me the sample seeds that have been distributed from your granary. And I'm loath to say that the data genetic markers have come back as indeed intellectual property of Vitari Tech Corp.
Well, it seems like you have quite the case to make. But this information and the data will all have to be verified. Of course, you know that we simply can't take your word and research on this as law, but we will obviously conduct an investigation into it. And if we can corroborate your claim, then we would fulfill any legal obligation that we were bore. We can, while that process is occurring, you're welcome to stay in Viridian, and we will supply you with updates as that is made.
You seem to be under the the false assumption that the law is still out on this. The research contract settlements were already decided over a year ago on Akaton. The scientists plans, we plan to bring charges against Miss Grommin, and in order to do so, I've been lawfully enacted to gain any and all access to corporate data. If I find Miss Grommin or her her information, I will be legally obtaining it. And as I said, any of those computers, if you don't have anyone to help me do that, I understand. But well, if you'd like to talk, if you have questions, I'm staying in the house of someone named Rigsar Mortis. I found it on a nice space B&B, and well, I will probably not be here too much longer. It's not that big of a colony. So you all have
Sure.
We'll call it a week to turn over this Haltharia Grommin's data before I will have to take matter into my own hands.
While I appreciate your dedication to a lawful acquisition of data owned by Atari Tech, you are, by all our accounts, an outsider. And you seem to be working under the misguided thought that I will allow you to freely investigate our property. While we will comply with what you need, I will also not just bend over and allow you to take what you want. So, why don't you take your time here as a sort of vacation? We will gather up what you need, and you can rest assured that a job well done is being done by those who are, frankly, probably better at this than you are.
With
It's in your best interest.
Your less than zero police force. Yeah, no, you're right. I will spend my time here at the local library and seeing the sights of trees and river and more trees. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Tell Tayata it was very nice talking with her. You know where I am. So we'll see you very shortly, everyone. She lets herself out. She saunters. She's a saunterer, Tyler.
I figure.
And yeah, I don't think you need to make a perception check to indeed tell that underneath this very delightful sports coat, indeed, there's like a little, you can see in the art even, a little pistol or something poking out of a holster. Oh, right. That's Zazika. Welcome to Zazika.
This being needs probing.
Who has a lot of time on their hand?
Everybody.
Redacted.
You're in
Redacted's got
downtime.
nothing but time.
That's not one of us.
Oh.
I just want to.
What do you mean, not one of us?
I just want to assign Zika. Is that her name?
Zizzy.
Their name?
Zazika?
Zazika. I just want to
Zizika?
assign Zazika a, personal guard of sort. Just someone to help him out. And
Elenez was not assigned to this, and he's already basically been tracking movements.
okay, well, Elenez can
Yeah.
be normally
No.
assigned to
We need
to her
a public
escort.
face to distract Zazika from Elenez secretly following.
Oh, okay.
So
Who
two.
would that be?
You have the one that
That'd probably be Jam from the one with the lowest.
Why don't we just why don't we just assign Tayeta? I don't think Tayeta can do any more damage than she already has, and in fact, she might just operate more as a distraction than a helpful individual.
Sure.
Well, the problem is, Taito was the one that Redacted distracted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
once you brought her back, it would be
well,
Hey,
the problem is Taeta and Redacted have taken their relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
oh boy.
You don't want to break up the Tayeta Redacted. That natural 20, he has, or Redacted has all the right technical life science questions, physical science questions. You roll physical science. What kind of earth?
And, well, Redacted is uncomfortable putting Taeta in that position.
Yeah. Well, do you have someone else in mind in the colony?
Redacted.
Oh, you want to distract Zazika?
I mean, distract, get rid of, whichever works.
Probing.
please don't get rid of like in a murders them way.
I mean,
Got to try the skyboat out somehow.
That is a strong term.
Got to try that skyboat out.
I'm just saying that, we live in the woods. Things happen.
It's a dangerous place. I mean, Skyboat's got to land somewhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Skyboat's got a sky, and
You gotta
then
park
sometimes
It
somewhere.
just landed right on Rigsar Mortis' house.
Does not have
no.
a swim speed. Do not try to make it a boat.
Just like lands there, and like you see like two ruby red slippers sticking out.
Yeah, no.
And under the tongue it says, their name.
Do you want to bring anyone else in on this
No,
job?
but we're gonna have to talk to Haltharia.
Yeah, you go back. She's inside your house, drinking your tea and kind of sitting on one of the comfortable chairs, maybe the most comfortable chair. Did you all find her? What happened?
We did.
Is she dead?
Well, Zazika has fairly convincingly laid out, convincingly to someone who hadn't made a promise to help you already, that she requires all, computers, workstations, samples, yada, yada, legalese, anything that you've worked on since your time here at Viridian, as well as your physical self to take back, to take with them back to the Pack World. So the good news is while they are here and they may make claim to those things, they are just a single individual, and I have laid out to them that they do not just have free access to everything in the colony, since while they might be under hire from Atari Tech, they do not have jurisdiction to just meander everywhere here.
You all think that the laws that you might lay down could protect me, but that's not the case still out here. All these colonies, they're all owned by corporations, and those corporations are all owned by the same mega corporations and banks. And I mean, if you try to draw this out in a legal battle, it might just be worse for the colony if I stayed here. Maybe I should just leave.
No, you must not go. We will not turn you over to the lenders that will only see us as weak and will only come back for more of their coin. We will keep you here. And your scientific advancements, cursed though they may be as technology, will lead us to the future. A future
Wow.
with even more technology. Laser guns, things of the past.
Could we hide them in one of these caves that we found?
Just throw them right to the monsters.
Well,
Well, no, we've cleared out a lot of these places. Like, it's a little bit. It's easy for Zazika to go around the colony and talk to people. It's a little bit harder for them to get access to like operations that we have going on deep underground to bring stuff out of the all the stuff we found. Like the place we just were that had like the whole underground monk sanctuary.
I mean, so it's tough. If like if we just murder Zazika, right? That causes us a lot of issues when their eventual death makes its way to Atari Tech, because they'll just send more people, right?
Unless we videotape it happening, of them doing something dumb and getting killed by a random.
They'll still send more
thing.
people after Grommin. That doesn't solve the problem of they want Grommin. Even if Zazika fails, they just send more folks, right? It'll just take a long time before they get here.
Oh my! Do you guys? So far, we've thrown out hide and murder as the two options. Do you want to ask someone else for?
You mean
some
everyone's favorite childhood game?
ideas? Hide and murder.
Patrick, you keep hinting at asking someone else. Is there someone you had in mind?
Oh, like Kells Deirdrick or Ezra and Shire. Or do you want to loop them in?
We could try to pay her debt. I mean, we could try to pay off this person.
It sounds like the research that they're going for and like damages because she's using it quote unquote illegally is like several digit long, debt. It's yes. Corporate debt, not gambling or not like gambling, loan shark debt.
Yeah.
Like Jamfer.
We can bring Kells and Ezrin in. Yes. It seems like Zazika, they aren't a botanist. They aren't a scientist. They're just a thug, right? Is that Pradier's kind of impression of them?
I mean, they're very professional looking bounty hunter. They seem to be from the Pact Worlds. Oh,
okay, thug.
I don't know if that's it. Describes every bounty hunter in the universe. Describes Dog, the bounty hunter, perhaps. But
I mean, the point being is that they're here to collect a person, collect tech and information that she's worked on, all things that can be, or at least the science part, that stuff can be fabricated. We can try to make fakes to pass off. And we can say, hey, here you go. Here's all the stuff. And make convincing fakes, and that way they leave. And while the problem is still out there somewhere, certainly maybe buys more time.
And as far as she's concerned, I think we can very successfully argue that, our sovereignty, like her contract with some company, she's not. They can't extradite her. Or you know what you should do, Pradier? You should pass a law right now that says that you can't extradite people from this colony.
Well,
do you want me to just declare we're our own country, like separate from?
I declare sovereignty.
I mean, for real, that was kind of where my mind was at, and Redacted's mind was probably at.
Oh boy, would that be a bummer for us?
This guy keeps spouting by law, and I keep thinking, and I was sure Redacted keeps thinking, that's not our law.
Yeah, the pact law, but you're not in the pact anymore.
Drew
buddy.
was sitting here thinking, how much do their laws affect this colony? But the corporate structure.
You guys are still
matter.
under pact law protection because you're all owned by pact corporations that are owned by pact law.
No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a hot second, because if anything happened, the pact would not protect anybody here. The pact couldn't get here. And so we're not under pact protection. We're there's no pact protection here. We're the seed money was from pact companies, right? And so
right.
My guess is, but there was never an understanding on my part that this was specifically an extractive mission to extract money out of this place, right?
Oh no, I mean it's for you guys to develop to turn into basically another pact world.
Well, they can get the message that we unionized.
Yeah. Well, Kels will also bring up the fact that she says, I don't like these corporate types any more than you guys do. I used to be the head corporate honcho. But you were right. You can't just kill this person. That was my first go-to. I was like, they probably wouldn't be able to find the body. There's so much woods out here. But that will only cause more problems. If they're looking to legally go after poor Haltharia, my good friend Haltharia, maybe we could find some kind of way to a loophole, get hold of her contract and pour over it, see if there's something that we can use to defend ourselves in case they do try to bring the law down on the colony. I don't know, but that's an option.
Or no, it just seems to Redacted that there's a lot of wilderness.
Literally just said that.
Right. So if they send more, there's more space.
So you just want to keep killing everyone they send.
Again, Redacted's a moron. I don't understand how clear I can make it to anyone else.
No, I don't. I mean, by all accounts, as long as we keep getting stronger, we can probably keep killing the stronger people that come after us.
We're going to have to keep leveling up. Yeah.
We're going to have to be very diligent about our training.
Yeah. It's almost like we're in a game that does that to us.
Ezran pipes up. He's like, I don't want us to, before our 1-year anniversary, get involved in some kind of legal battle with a mega corporation in the Pact world. It could be very costly. It could, kind of hurt our growth here in Viridian. And I mean, who knows if we win? Maybe they just drag it out because they can and start siphoning resources off of the corporation back home, and then they cut us off. Listen, there's strength in numbers. Maybe we could just reach out to some of the other colonies and see if we can band together and maybe come to kind of like a planet-wide agreement, to help each other out in these situations. You guys made pretty good friends with Zanilia. They might be able to give us some help, or maybe even Vostov or Nightwood. I don't know if we have friends here. We've made friends with some other colonies, so maybe we can reach out to them and form some kind of unified front against. Because I mean, this could happen again. This could easily happen with another corporation.
So it's your belief that if the planet were to make a unified statement, the corporation may back off.
it's possible if they see that we're not just these little divided colonies, but rather, we have some other corporations and some other backers in our quarter. Maybe they just think it's not worth it.
Well, I don't see why we cannot. We might as well divide resources a little bit here and pursue multiple avenues of success on this. Not the murder one, though. I'm going to be fairly firm on that particular solution.
Yeah, you guys went from really disliking Haltharia Grommin to willing to murder for her very quickly. You, like drop of a pen. You guys were super excited about that. It seemed.
Weird how that works,
That cave spelunking, boy howdy, you guys came back in quite a foul mood.
Why don't we spend I can spend some time contacting the other colonies and seeing if we can't come to an agreement about a collective bargaining contract here.
Redacted will whisper to Pradier, don't they hate us?
Not all of them.
You're pretty good terms with Zanilia. You gave them the...
I thought we pissed off one of them really badly.
We did.
Nightwood was pretty unhappy that you went with Zanilia, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know who probably has better corporate connections? Zanilia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and this is a botanist, who helps, can help protect the natural world. So they might, and who knows, they might hate Vitari tech even more than Zanilia. So it might be a enemy of an enemy kind of thing. But we can also try to get a hold
to ally with another group.
Yep. We should also get a hold of Grommin's contract and see if we cannot make a reasonable argument or loophole.
Yep.
And since Grommin has nothing to do but hide in the meantime, if she wants to try to create some forged research that we can hand over to keep Zazika occupied in the meantime, even the better.
Okay, so searching for loopholes, indeed, it is like 1,000 pages of contract in digital form that Haltharia is able to hand over on a data pad, and says, I have several degrees in genetic crop engineering, but I can't really make any hide or hair of this contract. Does any of you have a lawyer background? Is that too much to ask? Was anyone a lawyer before they came out and started fighting space aliens on this wacky planet?
No, but I oftentimes think of myself as a professional liar, so I have a honorary lawyer degree, perhaps.
Redacted studied bird law.
Zilix had a business background.
We need bug law, Miles. I'm so sorry.
It's very close to bug law.
It's so close, but it's so far. Well, yeah. If you want to make just a general culture check, you can do this and looking over the contracts.
Culture?
But yeah, culture to read through.
I'm going to.
I'll see myself out.
I'm going to cast a spell.
Everything's a spell with Braid here. Just spell your way out of all life's problems.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
And I might have to cast this multiple times, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Pouring over this, but it just gives me this is called fluid morphism, and it grants enhancement bonuses to skill checks.
Oh,
actually, it grants bonuses to ability scores and skill checks.
You're morphing fluid all over the contract law.
Go fluid morphin.
Hey, serious.
Oh, sorry.
Is this a level 1 spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me see how long reading the contract takes.
I mean, it's kind of maybe one of those things where once you absorb the contract, I don't know. You tell me, buddy.
Scouring the contract takes...
I'm just trying to use an ability.
Several hours.
Okay, never mind. I'll just roll culture.
Yeah, a PC who spends a day reading the contract and succeeds at the culture check. So this will take the better part of a day if you want to make another check as well. Ooh, look at you. Note to self, +4 to decipher old stuff. This contract is ironclad and pretty brand spanking new. Does anybody else want to try for the contract route? What's Zilix's contract allure? Or you said you had another profession, Drew?
I didn't. I hoped I could BS my way through that. No, I could roll culture, but I have 1 in it, so it's not going to turn out well.
1, the loneliest number.
I hear 2 is just as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1.
Yeah, but you have a +1, so go ahead and roll it. 2 is as bad as 1. You rolled a 1 on the dice, and somehow you you managed to like just close out the document on and like power down the data pad. Oh, oopsie.
I think I closed the tab. What happened?
So I will say the three of you like pouring over this, taking turns reading and maybe like trying to talk to one another. You're not able to find anything with those rolls, and about a day goes by with Haltharia Grommin kind of worrying about this. Do you want to continue on this track? See if you can. Do you want to spend another day working on this, or does someone want to?
And I rolled
go?
15 and didn't make it, so
Yeah.
And do I have the best culture?
There's got to be another way.
Yeah.
Strong statement.
Yeah, you have a couple of days to do this, so if you want to continue down this route, you can.
Sure.
Day 2 of reading a contract. How exciting can this be for the podcast listeners? Hype it up, Tyler. Hype it up. Oh, and you guys also have a episode reroll. You got that going for you. All right.
Well, can I use it?
There we
Can
go.
Another natural
Can
one.
I use it there so I don't just roll a
Wasted the
natural
day.
1 and potentially waste a whole day?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, why not? I could hammer out this ain't gonna happen, folks. Well, Grommin, the good
was
news
good.
is you don't
Good
have to
knowing
go on
you.
that date. Bad news is the corporate bounty hunters are taking you to town.
Zilix and Redacted, do you guys want to continue on this route as well on day 2?
What, and just roll another culture check?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
May as well, but it's not going to do anything.
Miles already rolled 120 this episode.
Yeah, it's not going to happen again.
No, it did not.
I'm going to it. So how many days do we have until this happens?
She said she would give you a week before she took matters into her own hands. So
All right. Around day 4, I'm going to pack up some supplies and I'm going to try to abscond with
all right. Well, that's. Are you telling people about this plan or no?
I mean, I'll tell the inner circle.
Okay.
Inner circle. I mean, just if nothing else, just to give them a few days, to buy them a few extra days to work something out.
Haltharia's like, thank you, Jamfram. You were always my favorite of these guys.
Oh,
And-
my pleasure. You can breathe underwater, though, right?
Oh no, not at all. Actually,
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'll put all the stuff back now.
I'm that. What do you call it? A human. I'm a human.
Right.
So
yes, one of those. Okay,
very
of course.
little water breathing
All right,
abilities.
so we won't go to my underground river dam. We'll go north.
You've been building in secret for the better part of a year, diverting colony resources. We gotta build it bigger. All right, day 3 here. Do you guys want to switch tacks and start reaching out to some of the other colonies, other charters?
I mean, I don't have a sense of how much more useful that will be than this, so I don't know.
Ezra and Shire, brought it up and suggested it is very possible that, I mean, this could go all the way if you can form a strong enough alliance. And he will mention,
Can I work on that while the other two continue to try and decipher the contract? Can Pradier work on that while the other two work on the contract?
Yeah, kind of the first thing in reaching out and talking to Zenilia's, corporate heads over in that colony would be to find some common ground to kind of bring this up in and make either a life science or a medicine check to kind of appeal to why a legally formed union between the colonies might be beneficial to this giant pharma. So I imagine, do you have medicine as a skill, Tyler?
I mean, yeah.
Well, you can do that, or anyone else can roll medicine or life science check.
I don't think I have the highest medicine.
I have +8 to life science and +8 to medicine.
Well, that's very good. That's very good. So
Get out
that's
there.
just the first part of this is kind of broaching the subject.
All right, Zilix, do it.
21?
That's not a success. They shoot down your proposal. That's a life science check. We got a worse check from Redacted. It looks like. Oh no. Does anybody else want?
Could he use that to aid instead of rolling?
Not after the fact, but look, Tyler Radier pulling out some last minute chicanery perhaps brings up, how, if they could do this perhaps in this colony, they might be able to take away valuable research in some of the other colonies before it even gets to the laboratories in Zanilia. That is enough to open up dialogue. They're willing to have, a spoon meeting, a space Zoom. They don't need to come to the colony for this, but to talk about, trying to convince them to go in with you in some kind of legal defense. Why don't you make me a diplomacy check? And this will take the rest of the third day to hash out. Looks like we got a 9 on the dice here. That is not going to be enough. Day 4. Who do you want to continue on Zanilia? Maybe have another meeting, Tyler. And at this point, other folks can try to help with that, or can keep in on the contract. It's up to you guys.
What's the role?
Well, for the contract, it's a culture check. It's diplomacy if you want to deal with the Zanilia.
I can help with diplomacy.
Okay. You want to sit on those meetings?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. What?
I don't know, culture.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll culture if you want to keep on working on that contract. Oh. There you go. You do find the 20. A small loophole in the contract that seems to refer to a work association agreement, a whole other separate document. Do you want to make me a computers check? See if you can find this. She has tens of thousands of documents on her work PC for going back decades. Okay. Right.
Garbage.
18. All right. Well, this is a little easier computer check. It is DC 18. Why don't you make me another culture check? See if you can nail down this new. Just nail down this new contract. You got something else to read.
Oh boy.
Haltharia's packing her bags.
Just roll 20.
Natural.
Oh my
20.
god.
Redacted.
Winning clutch.
Yeah, Redacted
Accidental
pours
clutch.
through maybe the middle of the night on between day 3 and 4 or wherever we're at for Redacted. You find a clause in this work association agreement that reads that employees can develop, quote, ideas unrelated to departmental competencies outside of work hours, so long as it doesn't detract from work. And, so long as they aren't part of their work flow, they would not be involved in the research. And you're pretty sure legalese that can be used to shield Haltharia from Vatari Tech, who are very weapons oriented in their research, and the genetic hooks for crops have nothing to do with weapons. You think you might have found a smoking gun, Redacted? Are you letting everybody know about this?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you
Can I still roll to have Zinnia be nice to me?
Oh yes, please do. And Rebecca,
Who?
Asher, and Sky.
I'm sorry,
lead.
Tyler.
Yeah, Zinnia? Zinnia's here?
Oh gosh, Zanilia is what I meant to
Zanilia.
say.
Just keep kicking me. Just keep kicking me.
Asher and Sky can aid. Okay, so we got an 8 here. That is still not enough to form this this union. DC 27, but it's just a DC 27 diplomacy check. What are you?
That is horse manure. Oh,
Once again,
Lord.
these characters were not meant for this campaign. We did something very wrong.
I'm just kidding.
My diplomacy can't be that much better. It's a really good book.
I'm just kidding. After finding the common ground, that should be enough to enter contract negotiations as well. It will take a little bit of time, but if you guys bring this contract to Zazika, who you do indeed find at the rented out house of Rigzar Mortis, she reads it over, maybe spends a good hour or so, and comes back to you all and says, you all, are you sure you don't work in the law profession. You seem to have found something that had slipped by some of my employers. I will tell you that much. I have a lot of information to bring back to Akaton to report to my employers. I wish we could have continued on this dance, as it were, but barring any unforeseen circumstances in the future, I'm probably not going to have a chance to come back to this planet ever again. Sorry to
Taeda
say.
will be very devastated.
Yes, I have her contact information, so if I need to reach out, I will. But, well, thank you so much for hosting me here. Spent an entire month traveling to this planet and about a month searching its surface, so time well spent. Just a couple months of my life doing this for.
As long as you get paid, I'm sure you're happy.
Oh, that sounds like you've worked for corporations before. Yeah, their checks clear, even if I'm off planet. Anyway, well, it was nice to meet you all. Tell Haltharia, catch you later. I'm just kidding. Don't say that. She's probably in the clear. All right, bye. Bye forever. What's that? You want me to stay? No, you didn't.
No.
You were just thinking it. You didn't say that out loud. I know. Anyway, Zazika does take the next shuttle off planet, and Haltharia Grommin, very, very happy that you guys were able to get her out of this jam, unjam her, if you will. I had combat rules. This is like the first person you could have fought that had a mind, Tyler. You could just like mind thrust every turn. Oh, it would have been such a short fight, but oh well.
It was our backup plan, I guess.
Anyway, the next day you get back from doing some work out in the field, and community is abuzz. News of a new charter. You know, people asking questions in town as you pass by. Who are these new settlers? How do you think they're going to get away with this? As you meet up with Ezerand, he brings you back into the command center and say, guys, we've got our latest problem here. As soon as you come back in town, we got all kinds of what looks like legal shenanigans going on. He opens up his data pad and has a holographic projector he uses for video games, and has used it to show what looks like an orbital photo taken from a shuttle leaving New Galarion of what looks like a fairly shark-shaped island in a bay somewhere, and it zooms in digitally, kind of reforming itself as it gets closer to, on this island, what looks like a human crowd along some modular housing and fishing boats. And he says, looks like someone's setting up shop on the southern edge of our charter's territory, right off the shore, conveniently in the exact spot you guys have been scoping out the last few months for the next settlement location. They showed up overnight a few weeks ago, looks like, and they've not answered any of our transmissions, so I don't know who they're affiliated with or what they're doing down there.
Oh, well.
But there's only one thing I've been able to discover, and it's from one of our regular supply pilots who also seems to be delivering to them. The settlement's name is to be continued.
Oh,
Well,
it's
that's
confusing
rad.
when we talk about it later in episodes.
The good news is get your gun and weapon ready. We're gonna go burn a village down.
Oh my goodness.
I have a lot of pent-up aggression after that Zazika incident, and well, I see a solution has made itself.
I can't believe we had a
very
peaceful
apparent.
resolution to a conflict. When we get done with
Just
the
saying,
season, we'll do the entire adventure path again, and we'll go the renegade route where you just shoot everyone. Like as soon as you see them,
Yeah.
you see Balco Unkar standing over the body, you're like, that was pretty close to what happened. Yeah, that's the end of this week's episode. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling like we did some good things here. You guys did some good things. Congrats.
Did Jabert roll a dice?
Yeah. Jabert.
No, not one.
I don't think he did.
Jabert rolled.
Oh, I should have used that reroll. Yeah.
Rolled into our hearts with his plan to escape with Haltharia Grommin.
To abscond with our.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to role play that date between you and I, Tyler, later.
Don't worry about it. Praetor picks out a spot, and if Haltharia, when she shows up, the waiter just hands a note that says, "We're never gonna get along."
Oh, now I feel stood up. Oh boy.
Oh, really? So, you feel bad after she blatantly said that she wasn't attracted or interested in me and whatsoever due to my appearance and other shenanigans?
You're a weird undead elf guy. I don't know.
Wow, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
I can't believe the ugly human is so concerned with looks.
Yeah, and that ticks so many boxes on our Hot Topic demographic.
It does.
Zombie elf here to stay. President cute zombie elf. Guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks for playing with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
Listeners. Well, thank everyone out there for listening, all you critter manders, and we're going to catch you on next week's episode of Cosmic Crit.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
You've been listening to Cosmic Crit, an officially licensed partner of Paizo Incorporated. The Starfinder role-playing game and adventure paths are trademarks of Paizo. All Pathfinder and Starfinder images are property of Paizo and are used with permission.